Welcome to Markets and Matchups, your weekly dose of finance and footy.
We'll start with a wrap of the markets before jumping into the NRL this week.
Quick reminder to get your footy tips in for the BPC tipping comp. Bragging rights and prizes are on the line.
Into the weekly market update. So all three major US indices fell by 2.5% over the week, with a notable drop on Friday night after President Trump announced plans to recommend a 50% tariff on European imports starting at the end of the month. We cannot escape tariff talks right now, as they were the biggest catalysts over the week. Trump's proposal of a 25% tariff on foreign-made iPhones and threats of 50% tariffs on the EU led to most of the market volatility. The Australian market was relatively stable. The Australian dollar reached a 6-month high, trading at approximately 65.2 US dollars. Into commodities. Uranium stocks experienced significant gains after US President Donald Trump signed an executive order supporting the nuclear energy industry. Notable increases included Deep Yellow, up 13.7%, Boss Energy, up 7.3%, and Paladin Energy, up 8.8%. Gold prices hovered near a 2-week high, but recently retreated 1% on Monday after President Trump stood down from his threats to impose a 50% tariff on goods from the European Union from 1 June, in turn reducing demand for safe haven assets. Copper climbed over the week, marking 3.96% weekly gain, driven by strong demand and tight supply conditions. Looking ahead, we have US core inflation data on Friday, durable goods orders, and pending home sales. So, Nathan, you're back. Welcome.
Yeah, good to be back. I've had to fill in again. Scarlett's missing, just like some of the Penrith players were in the weekend against the Knights. Nowhere to be seen on the field. And,
Nice.
Scarlett hasn't come into work since.
Nice.
So
No.
we don't know
She's
where
scared,
she is.
yeah.
She's disappearing, mate. But
Nowhere to be seen.
jumping into this week's wins and losses, round 12, full of upsets.
Full of upsets.
Just some cool debuts. A lot of young kids making the debut. I think I saw 2 debutants score tries, so that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, nice. Who's that for?
A Parramatta player and then a Roosters player. The Roosters player, I think it was his second touch in the game,
No
and
way.
he just scored a try. So yeah, it's always cool in the Origin period seeing the younger kids come in and
Man.
have their debuts.
Man.
But
And how did your tipping go?
not
Terrible.
good. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
terrible.
everyone went pretty bad.
I think mine was worse than yours.
I got 1.
I got 0.
Yeah, everyone went terrible. I mean,
It was just full of upsets, wasn't it? It was Origin week is with all these players out, man. It's so hard to pick like any team.
yeah, you just don't know who's going to show up. Like I thought Eagles were going to beat Parramatta, but then Parramatta decided to show up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
And they had Mitchell Moses and Zach Lomax out. Like they played better without their halfback.
Wow.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's
it's really weird.
Gave them a hiding too.
Oh, smacked them. But I tell you, he did get a hiding. Mate, the Bulldogs, they got pumped.
Are we happy about that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on with them at the moment. We'll talk about it later with luckily Galvin and, them joining the club. But
yeah.
halftime, it was on Thursday. The weather was terrible. It was bucketing rain.
Bucketing down.
And then going into halftime, I think Dolphins were up or Dogs were up by 2 or 4. And then second half, they just couldn't tackle. And they got pumped.
They don't seem to play well in the wet though, do they?
No, they got a bad track. That's
I
weird,
don't know
isn't
what.
it?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
44-8.
The Dogs.
I think that's 2 games now where they've played in the rain. They've got pumped. Broncos and now the Dolphins.
Yeah.
It was in that 50
that's
point
right.
margin as well. So did you watch the Knights game? Knights Penrith.
Knights game? No, I missed it.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate. So
Should I have watched it?
you should have watched it if you wanted to laugh. Pathetic from Penrith.
Oh my
Dylan
gosh.
Lucas, I think, nearly scored 4 tries as a second rower. And Fletcher Sharp played.
I've got him in
amazing
my
as well.
fantasy actually.
Who's Sharp or Lucas?
No, Lucas.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
See how many points he got?
No.
Because he scored a hat trick.
What did he get?
70, I think, or 65.
Yeah.
Man, that's second row. Man, I don't know what's going on. And then the Roosters.
So, just on Penrith, last.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot the most important part. The 4-time premiers are last.
They're last.
Dead last.
What a fitting week for Scarlett to be away though.
Oh, it's just what are the odds? Such a coincidence that she's awake when Penrith get beat and are now last on the table.
It's bad.
Bad. Hopefully she comes into work next
Bad.
week.
Do you have any hope for them actually making the top 8?
I mean, I think we're halfway through the season, right at half point at the moment.
Yeah.
Look, if they make the top 8, yes, there's still a chance because they've got a lot of experience. But at the same
Yeah, I agree.
time, you're going to have to jump from 16th to 8th.
Wouldn't this be a crazy run?
If they do it, look, if
Wouldn't it
they
be
do
phenomenal?
it, all credit to them. I don't want them to win again. I want them to be a new team to win.
Yeah.
Because if they win again, like it's just 5 in a row, and it's absurd.
You're sick of them, aren't you?
Oh, bro, I've had to watch the same team win 4 years in a row. Like, good on them. First year, they deserved it because they got beat by Storm. 2 years in a row, 3P, and then 4 in a row. And I'm like, right, it's enough. Salary cap, do your thing.
Yeah, let's get some new teams in.
Let's see some new teams win.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the Wires.
Mate.
It had to end at some point.
It did, and I'm upset. It ends on the week. You're playing at home. You're wearing the coolest jerseys I've ever seen in my life. They look like fresh all black jerseys. And you lose again.
Dope, man. Yeah, I know.
Look, you really needed that. But at the same time, you're still top 4. You're coming third.
Yeah, 100.
Can't complain.
100. It was a good chance to potentially get to the top of the table. Didn't happen. Whatever. We'll move on.
Don't forget,
I think we're at an advantage too because we don't have many. I think we have one Origin player,
Mitch Barnett. But don't forget, you had Fish out as well.
Yeah,
so that's your two starting
that's
props. True. Your 2 blazing guns are out. So like you can't be too cut. You didn't even lose by that much anyway.
Nah. And it was that we should have won, man. Like
if you just made some mistakes, but look, you've got don't forget, you've got some really young players in that team.
Yeah.
Just give them time to gel. But this is your now or never season, in my opinion.
I'm happy about how they're going though. I'm good. Yeah.
We're going pretty good. You boys are going good overall. Better than the Tigers. Moving on.
Nathan, mate, stand-up players. Who you got?
Well, I've only got 2. I think a lot of the games were it was just more team performances than individual. But I've got Dylan Lucas and Fletcher Sharp from the Knights. You just have to put them. I mean, Dylan Lucas nearly scores 4 tries if he doesn't get tackled. Like the ball doesn't get smacked out of his hands. And then Fletcher Sharp, he had 18 tackle busts, 18 tackle breaks.
Yeah, that's insane.
272 meters. Anything, he had a couple tries as well. He just played freakish. So, I mean, those 2, Fletcher Sharp, Dylan Lucas, players of the round. Those are my 2, yeah.
Okay. The big story of the week, State of Origin. Now, I have an unbiased opinion because I'm a Kiwi.
Yeah.
So I'll give my 2 cents and then you can give your prediction and we'll go from there.
Fair enough.
So I don't want to hurt any feelings here either. But from what I've seen, I'm going New South Wales. Yeah. I know I live here and I was probably traditionally a Queenslander.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going New South Wales this week.
Good, man. What's your score prediction?
I'll go 24-10.
That's a
good score, I know.
Yeah. I'm going to pick New South Wales as well. I think, though, the final score will come down to 32-16. New South Wales.
Okay.
I feel like it'd be a bit of a high-scoring madness.
Pick a try scorer. Who you got?
Latrell Mitchell.
Got it. I was going
Latrell Mitchell. Has to be.
Nice.
And back to our tipping comp leaderboard. Shout out to B. Mullins, who is currently leading in our mini competition. That's the end of the 4-week comp. And he's got 55 points. He actually got 3 out of 5 tips as well.
Yeah, no kidding. So, on that week. Heck yeah.
Yeah, on the week of struggles.
And so he's our mini comp winner.
He's our winner. End of round 12, and he's the winner for the 4-week mini comp. So we'll get into touch with B. Mullins and get your tips in. And you could be the winner of our next mini comp, which starts
this week.
Yeah.
Starting fresh. So
So
get your tips in. Could be the winner.
Could be like B. Mullins.
Thanks, guys. That's us for this week's Markets and Matchups.
Make sure you're locking your tips for BPC's footy tipping comp and tune in next week for more finance and footy.